God requires that we should make an outward profession of our faith. So briefly, let's read from Matthew 5:16, where Christ says, "So let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven." Let's unpack that one for a moment, considering that, there is a tendency in our world to want everybody to see our good works, right? That's what makes Facebook and Instagram what it is. Hey, look at what I did. Look at what I'm doing. Look how awesome my life is. In this passage, Christ is saying, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works. And so I think many times people take that out of context. I know in the past I've taken that out of context, right? But he goes on and says, and glorify your Father who is in heaven. And so I've discovered that in my reversion to faith and return to the church, that all fruits that proceed from me are not of me and don't belong to me, but glorify my Father in heaven. I think because we make ourselves our own God in our culture, we think, look at what I did, right? And I know I used to do the same thing too. For example, YouTube. I came into YouTube very early and I became very popular very quickly. And then the praising of the world descended upon me. Elliott, you saved my life. Elliott, you helped me out. Elliott, if it weren't for you. And then Elliott started thinking that Elliott is a pretty damn good guy. And look at me and look at all I've done and all the people I'm helping, completely forgetting that it is by God's grace that I'm able to speak in a certain way that inspires. It is by God's grace that I was raised in a family that gave me confidence and self-assurance and the willingness and ability to speak in a camera comfortably. It is by God's grace that I have all the things that I have, the charisma that I have, the enthusiasm that I had, even by God's grace that I'm here today to speak to you guys in terms of catechesis. It's not by my doing, and none has been by my doing. And so not to take glory in ourselves, but glorify your Father who is in heaven. So all that we can do in such a way as to bring glory to the Lord. So I don't think we need to be false humble. Don't look at me, pay me no mind. I'm not that important. As opposed to, watch me, see what's happening here. All glory goes to the Lord. Somebody sent me a message the other day and he was glorifying me. Well, Elliott, because of you, XYZ happened. And I just responded, praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Do not praise me. And so I think that's a good way for all of us to, it's a very resourceful posture to take for a number of reasons, right? So of course, first of all is pride. And that's the most obvious one, right? The pride that's associated with me doing these things. And that's a false sense of ourselves. But not only that, okay, all right, you want to be humble, you don't want to be proud. But on a practical level, right? Because sometimes being humble doesn't seem so practical. I get it. It seems more practical to be proud because look, hey, everybody, I'm awesome. And let me glorify myself. And nobody objects. People do not object to that because we live in a world that worships the ego, worships itself, right? So only a crazy Christian would be like, hold on, slow down. I get afraid, in fact. And people start glorifying me. In a way, that's a temptation. And I can easily take that bait. I've seen it before myself. If we know ourselves well enough, we know when the temptation comes and what it looks like. I know what that temptation looks like. Oh, slow down. But not only that, let's understand that when we take the glory upon ourselves, we also take the fall upon ourselves because we then believe that we're the one that's responsible for the attainment and sustaining of the thing that maybe others are glorifying us for. So that when it's taken away, you become just as depressed as in the concomitant, equal but opposite way of when you were all puffed up. To the degree that you allow yourself to be puffed up is to the degree that you are going to be let down. And so an easy way to confess our faith is whenever we are thanked, whenever we are praised, to praise the Lord. I learned that one from my friend Casey Cratchit. He used to say, praise the Lord. Whenever I thanked him for something, or, we're talking about something that great that happened, he said, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Glory be to the Father, right? How else could you say it? Thank God. My mom used to just say that very, very simply. Thank God. I would say, Mom, thank you for dinner, right? My mom always cooked us dinner. And, we were always very thankful to her. Mom, thank you. And she would say, thank God. She would remind us, thank God, thank God, thank God. What an amazing way to confess our faith. God requires that we should make an outward profession of our faith, and Christ tells us so.